Hi, it's Laurie Macpherson, Career Mentor here, and today I'm talking about where to find roles now. So, quick word of advice, do not start the process of looking for jobs until you know exactly what you want. Now, this sounds really basic, but lots of people don't do this. They just search based on what they do at the moment, even if they don't particularly like that. So, stop, think about what you want and don't, create a wish list and look at what's realistic for you at this time with your circumstances, and then start to think about what jobs you want from there. Another good tip when you are using the job sites is to search by keyword, so the keywords that would appear in the job description rather than by title, as companies can call jobs whatever they want and you can miss things. So if instead, for example, you do a keyword search for, say you want to be a program manager, but you just put the word, program in, you will find other titles that come up that also involve and encompass actually being a program manager. The job description will say managing a particular program. So keyword searches are great. They will throw up some random stuff. Just scroll past. Don't get annoyed and upset about that. And know that you can do these instead of and as well as your actual title searches to make sure you get a broader stretch. So in terms of where to look, the big, bold, usual suspects are absolutely fine. So your CV library, total jobs, Indeed, S1, etc. Just remember you can always toggle by date posted. I wouldn't go spending lots of my time applying for a job that had been up for 3 weeks, for example. I would want to have a good look through the ad and maybe check on the company's own site or with the recruiter that it's actually still live before you spend your time. Quite often they just get filled and they don't get taken down as quickly as they might. So be aware there's always a button at the top to flick by relevance or by date. Once you've done it, you can see that the jobs will come up that are just posted or posted today. So obviously job sites are your usual suspects. However, really good piece of advice from Andrew McCaskill at Executive Career Jump, which he published, I think, in February, a survey with his clients who got work in the last year and how they had found work, and only 16% were through the job sites. I think it was about 36% were through recruiters, and the rest was LinkedIn and your own network. So I would advise you to spend the time accordingly, not to spend all day, every day on the job sites, but to do a bit of work on there, but also to do some proactive work as well. So what I mean by that is which companies interest you. Sign up for their alerts, sign up for their career sites, follow them on the socials that you use. Also have a look at them on LinkedIn. What are they talking about now? Have they won an award recently? Have they gone for some grant funding? Are they growing? They'll always post their jobs first on there, and it lets you get in a little bit more quickly and also see what the kind of lie of the land is with particular companies you like. So following them directly is one way, and then, as I say, LinkedIn is another huge source. It's a whole massive topic on its own, but have a LinkedIn profile and connect with people who you want to see and be seen by. You can do a company search and then connect with people who work for that company. I don't recommend or bother with connection request messages myself. It's quite obvious it's a professional networking site. You want to be connected. If they don't want to connect with you, again, I don't get excited about that. I just move on to the next person, because there will be somebody there that I can see what the kind of lie of the land, what the intel is on that particular company. So the other part of that puzzle then is in your network. You will find jobs by using your network, but they have to know what you're looking for, and they have to know what you're looking for now. So if you last worked with someone 5 years ago, when you were a finance director, and you're now looking to teach yoga, unless you tell them, it's likely they might not know. Sometimes we post things in socials. Bear in mind that the only person who sees anything you post, who sees all of anything you post on social, is you. So no one else sees the whole picture. So it's really worth going to people in your network who you know, who work at certain companies, whose family work or worked at certain companies, who can get you an in basically in a particular company, or who can get you an in a sector as your first base, and then who generally would it be good to know that you're looking for a specific type of thing now. Now, women in particular are pretty reticent to do this. They sometimes think, well, I haven't spoken to them in 5 years. It feels a bit cheeky, feels a bit rude. They call it, they feel it's a bit like using people. Men tend to call it leveraging their network. So that's the way to think about it. I'm leveraging my network and using the people I know to get me closer to a job. It's never ever cheeky unless you're asking someone, for a huge piece of work for nothing. Saying to somebody, hey, I'm looking out for this kind of thing at this kind of place. Would you look out for me? Is fine. Also know that the more specific you can be at this point, the better. Otherwise, I found it's a bit like dating. Your friends will just set you up with any random pal that happens to be single unless you tell them really specifically. So telling them I'm looking for HR business partner in the Glasgow area with, flexible working and a salary of around 30 to 40 will actually get you much better results than just saying I'm looking for HR jobs. They'll send you jobs that are above and below what you can do. You'll end up annoyed and fed up and having to go back, and there's that, what did she think she is? She wasn't grateful. If you tell them in the first place, they'll only send you what is relevant. So be brave and state, what it is exactly that you're looking for. So I wouldn't do this exercise until you know. So that's your network. We've covered job sites. We've covered using LinkedIn very briefly because that's all we can do. And then the fourth piece of the puzzle is headhunters, recruiters. So if a job is on with a recruitment agency, it'll tell you somewhere on the job description. I always read right down to the bottom, send it through the site as normal, but then make a call. Try to speak to the person. Now at this point, know that the person doesn't know your value or why they should speak to you. So it's up to you to convince them of that. And often they just won't do that, and that's absolutely their prerogative. But what I would say is remember they work for the client, not, I always get this the wrong way around. They work for the client, not the candidate. So they don't work for you, they work for the person placed in the role. So if you can get someone to speak to you, I've applied for this through Indeed. Have you seen it? Would you put me forward for it? If no, why not? What else should I be doing? Is there anything else we can have a look at? Fantastic. I'll call you again in a couple of weeks, and keep following up with recruiters. They're really busy at the moment. There's millions of unfilled jobs and millions of candidates floating about in the market and not matching because the people are not applying in the right way, and they're really, really, really busy, busier than they've probably ever been. So know that you're not their priority, but you're your priority. So obviously keep at them and try to build a relationship with, I would say, 5 or 6 recruiters, and keep calling them every couple of weeks on a rotation. Hey, I've applied for something else, or hey, haven't seen anything coming on for a wee while. Is there anything likely to be coming on? Have you got any intel? They always know what's going on in the background. Great people to have in your corner. You may have to chase, and remember, ultimately they don't owe you a call or indeed anything else, but I would try and cultivate some relationships. So that's 4 main places that you can find jobs. Don't spend all day in the job sites. It's about 16% should be about 16% of your time, roughly. And remember, there are millions of other job sites out there. Just Google search the sort of jobs you want, and you'll find masses of other sites. I hope that's been helpful.